In October of 2023, we hiked the Manaslu Circuit from Machikola to Darapani. It took us 16 days, including a 5-day detour up Tsum Valley.
A lot of travel to get there in the beginning. We started out on this really big bus coming from Kathmandu.
Yeah.
And then we got on a smaller bus. And then we got on a quote-unquote Jeep. Kind of had to finagle our way in because there was no room for us on the other Jeeps.
Shout out to Nuru for making the impossible happen there. How was the first couple days on the trail here?
Really low elevation to start, so breathing is easy. You're in the jungle. Right off the bat, lots of suspension bridges.
How many do you think there were every day?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah, like big ones across the river.
Yeah, huge.
And it's all glacial melt from like the glaciers and Larke Pass and stuff up where you're headed. So you're just slowly making your way up. And I actually kind of liked the road. I thought it was a nice like break-in period and you could walk side by side.
Oh my gosh, I would have way rather walked on the road than driven any more on that road.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah, you're like, just get me out. Like,
Oh my god. We would stop for lunch in a town, stop for a snack or whatever. We never had to carry much food. Maybe some cookies. We always had some cookies on us when we figured out which ones we liked. There was a coconut ones that I really liked.
Yeah.
And then there was some chocolate ones. Chocolate became like so exciting.
we were like rationing. We had to, because there's no ATMs, so you've got whatever money you have. And so you're trying to do the math. I got 15 days to go. How many cookie packets do I need per day? Like, what can you afford to get now?
So getting into Tsum Valley, it was instantly like stairs. You're going up just a bunch of stairs and you lose the crowds right away.
In Lokpa, Nuru put on traditional like marriage garment.
A wedding outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's wearing, and that was kind of fun. The lady there who like ran the inn thought Nuru was ridiculous.
Yeah, which she was.
Not wrong, yeah.
And then there was only another group, I think, in Lokpa, and they were all super sick. And this couple, they actually got helicoptered out.
You got sick.
I caught the bug for sure, and the higher parts of Tsum Valley got really rough.
Yeah, that was rough. Day 3.
Oh, my son.
Lunchtime. Time for rest. Day 3. Chumling.
Yes.
How you feel?
I feel okay. I'm tired, but I'm okay. If I sit for a half hour, I'll be ready to go.
Do you want to describe what Tentuk was?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was my favorite. I think that might have been the group favorite. It was a kind of the Nepali version of chicken dumpling soup, and it was starting to get really cold up here, so it was just nice to have something comforting and warm.
Mm-hmm. It was like every place in Tsum Valley had it.
It was a mountain food.
This is Chocomparo. Do you want to talk about the house visit there?
Yeah, it was super cool. It was a very small town. The little place we stayed at, the owner lived right across the street, and he was excited to meet us and wanted to show us his house and how they live, and he was just super friendly and nice. And
when we walked back down Soon Valley, we stayed with them again, and then we ended up actually hiking a lot of the day back to Lokpa with him because his hot water heater had broken and he needed a part, and the only place he could get the part was like a 3 or 4 day walk. How is today's hike?
Very easy.
Mellow. God bless.
No elevation. Very flat. It's nice. We saw wild
tar
is what they're called.
Himalayan tar.
I would have called them just a mountain goat. But
Not a
Nuru
goat.
called them tar.
Yeah, they're tar.
yeah, which is cool. I mean, there was a whole mess of them, and they were talking to each other.
What else?
We went by several shrines and wheels, prayer wheels. Nuru told me that the stones all have the same message on it, blessing those that have passed and animals as well. And he thought they were probably a couple hundred years old.
How do we say thank you?
Well, the Tibetan way to say thank you is
Worship.
tutishe, tutishe,
Tuche?
tutishe,
Tuche?
tutishe.
Tuche?
But local for Soon Valley. Go ahead.
It was worship.
Horshay.
Horsey. Mogumba. This is the top of Soon Valley, and actually you could see Tibet, China, from the entrance of Mogumba. It was super cool. There was actually like a monastic in there who was like chanting, and this was like an authentic Buddhist monastery that is
being practiced at
out
currently.
there,
Yeah.
like wild to see, and it was, very cool. You said it there.
And on the way in, we crossed a mudslide. On the way back, that slide had slid again and washed out the footpath. It was kind of sketchy to have to try to cross.
Yeah, I think it had just recently gotten like way worse, and like, well, we got to get out of here somehow. Like, there's only one path. There's only one way to go. Yeah,
so we had to throw these rocks for our feet to step on.
Make a step, a temporary step that you could not sink into the quicksand.
It is hard to tell how steep that was. You cannot really tell, but it was steep.
I believe my dad was being like, I got this. As he's like teetering over that, which he did. Credit to him. We've just now gotten back onto the main Manaslu Circuit, but we happened to get into lunch
right when it started dumping. We were planning to keep walking that day, and we were like, no, we'll just hunker down here. But we were doing pretty good pace-wise.
Day 9. Dang Janamram. Long day. Halfway through lunchtime. Any comments?
Tired. 4.5 hours. Right? We got 2 hours to go. Maybe. 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
20 minutes at a time. Day 9, maybe 10. We are in low. On the left is Manaslu. Lunchtime. Any commentary?
Any commentary?
We're getting into the really big mountains. It's super cool.
It is cool.
It's very, very cool.
I think we feel good. I know we're feeling healthy. Feeling optimistic. There he is.
A lot of people came out of nowhere in Samagan.
Well, that's because I think there's a lot more options to stay early on in the circuit depending on your pace. There's towns all along the way. The closer you get to Larky Pass, it's like you have to stay here. You only have that option.
Yeah, it's less dispersed.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But yeah, we took a rest day in Samagan. But I don't know that we loved the town.
No, it was definitely just busier, more touristy, because it's the last town before Larky Pass.
How's acclimatization day?
No, not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's beautiful. I like the monastery.
It's cool.
Those are cool. No, not bad at all. Did we have to go much further?
To hike today?
Yeah,
We're going back now.
that's what I thought. Yeah, this was nothing really. I feel good. You making fun of me.
Biscotti, biscotti. Day 12. A new Jeff, new Baje. Check out those glasses. Wow.
Pretty spiffy, huh?
Pretty cool.
Huh?
What do you think, Nuru? Very cool.
Very cold.
Very
Do I
cold.
look good? Do I look good?
The glasses?
I
Wow.
look like very young.
Very young.
Very young. Yeah,
All right.
I think it's the beard. Yeah.
Little bit difference white.
Yeah.
When we arrived in Kathmandu, they are like coloring in black. Look like young.
Oh, we'll get a marker.
राम्रो छ.
And this is Dharamsala. So cold. There was one room, the dining area, that everybody huddled in for warmth that evening.
Yeah.
It was kind of disgusting, like humid
It was
too.
warm just because of body heat. There was no heating source.
Yes, it was just 50 people all crammed into a small room. But I remember that in the morning, my dad, he had to go to the bathroom twice in a terrible
In the middle of the night.
privy in the middle of the night. And it was like so cold. It's just this hole in the ground. It's easily the worst toilet along the whole thing. Yes, we started hiking at like,
I think around 4.
yeah.
And it was super icy on the ground.
Guys know what the rivers?
Well, yeah, there's some trickling water, and it was icy, so we had to be careful to walk. But I think the next day we were reflecting on Larky Pass, and Jeff was like, man, I think one of the worst parts were those river crossings in the beginning. And we were like, what rivers? And then it finally clicked. He was talking about the trickling water that went from the upper camp to the lower camp.
Yeah.
That was frozen, and Michael did slip and get his foot wet, but it was
It was like a hose.
it was like a hose. But that just kind of gives you an idea of like the psychology of it. Like, we were so nervous. This is the peak of the trip.
Larky Pass.
We made it.
Hey, Phil.
I feel good. Took it slow.
Good job.
Thank you. I think that was the hardest thing I ever did. I'm not lying.
Good for you.
We got up there. We got to celebrate.
Ate Snickers.
We had
Nuru brought us
frozen
Snickers.
Thought I was gonna break my jaw, but it was cool. You could see other people base camping that were gonna go up.
Larky Peak, yeah. The pass was over 17,000 feet, way up there, sucking oxygen, and we were all excited to make it down. I remember telling my dad, I was cautioning him, like, most accidents happen on the descent. Like, do not let your guard down. And sure enough, descending was when
The slip happened.
the slip.
And he jammed his hand into his pole and dislocated his finger. There was definitely a moment of like, Jeff doesn't feel good. He might throw up.
I popped it back into position.
Ugh. And we all heard the pop too. It was
Ugh.
disgusting.
point do I take a leave?
Bam tank. Ooh.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The camera's rolling. Last day, Bimtang to Darapani. And then the final day was just a lot of mileage. We really booked it to get down so we could get back.
So steep.
It's nice to get warm again.
Yeah, that was
Obviously
nice.
A good change, and you're feeling accomplished. And we had a pretty smooth day, just a long day. But our friends, the Italians, had a little bit more. They had really more the story of the day.
Yeah, Frederica, she
sprained her ankle, she got thrown off a horse, and she had to hitchhike via motorcycle to get to the end.
Yeah, we got to the end town, and it was kind of like...
Nobody in Darapani.
It was odd, yeah, there was...
So Nuru cooked our final feast, and he made dalbat for everybody.
Yeah, us and the Italians.
With our friends. And that was that. First international trip together.
Yes.
Almost done.
Yep. Successful.
Reflections, commentary.
It was great. I think we did a very good job of being on the same team. Maybe at Bajay's expense sometimes.
Sometimes. Sorry, Bajay, we love you.